There comes a point where it's not possible to avoid an issue any longer. And I want to examine the intensifying media battle facing Prince Harry. At its heart is a grimly familiar pattern: an embattled Duke of Sussex pursuing legal and public fights against what he sees as a predatory press, while lurid new rumours swirl about the most intimate details of his family, this time about the very legitimacy of his children's place in the line of succession. Harry has been unrelenting in suing British tabloids over historic phone hacking, accusing papers of criminality and cover-up. And I think he's exposed and identified stuff that to me seems entirely legitimate and entirely correct. His allegations seem to me to be well-founded. In his recent ITV interview, for example, he frames himself as a David facing Goliath, a rich, sprawling media enterprise with no ethics. If at any point anyone involved in the phone tapping thought that was a moral approach to news gathering, then they need their head screwing on. And I know some of these people. I thought they were fairly squalid in the past. I think they're beneath contempt now. And I can't see how they can possibly defend themselves. They could say, oh, well, I didn't know this was going on, which is the Piers Morgan approach, or they could say, Lady C. Again, another venomous media hack who's just desperate to peddle whatever gossip she can. And in the end, Harry has a point about the media's historic aggression against Diana, against him, against Meghan. But that valid point doesn't excuse the Sussexes' own manipulation of the media.
Oh, the British tabloids are shaking again. You can hear the pearls clutched from here to Kensington. Why? Because Professor Tim Wilson, a calm, precise, brilliant man with a whole PhD and zero time for nonsense, just dropped truth bombs all over their dusty empire of lies. Let me tell you right now, this man didn't whisper. He didn't hedge. He looked dead into the camera and said what needed to be said. And you know what scared them most? He didn't do it with rage. He did it with receipts. Now, why would a mild-mannered professor make royal reporters quake in their loafers? Because Wilson committed the ultimate British media crime. He said Harry is right. Right to fight the press, right to take them to court, right to name the monsters in the garden. And let's be clear, Wilson didn't come for headlines, he came for justice. He talked about how the media that drove Diana to her death never took accountability. They didn't grieve, they didn't reflect, they profited, they sold her suffering like it was an Amazon Prime deal. Then they turned around and did the same to her son. Harry saw the paparazzi crush the life out of his mother. And the press? They just reloaded the camera roll and aimed it at Meghan. So no, Wilson didn't say, well, they asked for it by doing that Oprah interview. He said, these people have endured trauma that you vultures keep monetizing. Let's talk about Meghan, because Wilson did, and he didn't mince words. He said the hate she gets, it's racial, it's gendered, it's classist, and it's out of control. And you know what else Wilson did? He addressed the most vile, disturbing, unhinged rumors out there, the ones people don't even want to say out loud. He dragged them into the light, those disgusting whispers questioning whether Meghan actually carried her children, the lies about fake pregnancies, the bonkers moon bump conspiracies, that level of gutter gossip that crawls out of 4chan, swims through Reddit, and ends up in some crusty tabloid columnist's next piece. And Wilson? He didn't blink. He said this isn't free speech, it's abuse. Because let's be honest, this isn't curiosity. It's a hate campaign dressed up as concern. It's misogynoir with a side of constitutional sabotage. And it's not just social media trolls. Wilson made it clear. This narrative is being fed, watered, and cultivated by a media machine that knows exactly what it's doing. He warned that these rumors aren't just offensive, they're destabilizing, because when you start questioning the legitimacy of royal children, you're not just gossiping, you're lighting a match under the monarchy itself. Let that sit. Wilson didn't say, oh, those conspiracy theories are interesting. He said they're trash. But he also said this: if you don't shut them down, they grow. Lies thrive in silence. And when the media plays coy, it's complicit. He called out the whole ecosystem, the fake royal experts, the venom merchants who call themselves journalists but wouldn't know integrity if it slapped them with a copyright strike. You know who he meant: the Piers Morgans, the Lady C's, the whole carousel of grifters who saw Meghan's name trending and thought, time to pay off my mortgage. Wilson called them what they are: garbage peddlers, not reporters, not commentators, just noise with Wi-Fi. And he drew a direct line, from Diana's death to the harassment of Harry, to the obsession with Meghan, and finally, to the toxic hate directed at their innocent children. And he didn't back away from it. He said it straight: this system is sick. This isn't royal coverage, it's ritual abuse. He even pushed back on the idea that, well, they signed Netflix deals, so they're fair game. No, a brand deal is not a permission slip for persecution. Not releasing a photo of your baby isn't a scandal. It's self-preservation. Not attending royal events isn't treason, it's boundaries. And defending your wife and children from the very machine that killed your mother, that's not being a victim. That's being a survivor with a backbone. Wilson made that clear. He said Harry isn't perfect, and guess what? That's not the point. The point is that no one deserves to be hunted for choosing peace over performance. No one deserves to be smeared for saying, not my wife, not my kids, not again. And while Harry is battling the tabloids in the courtroom, Wilson pointed out what so many won't: that the real war is being fought online, in memes, in whisper campaigns, in YouTube echo chambers, where rumors spread like wildfire and facts are treated like foreign invaders. Wilson warned us, if you're only fighting one front, you're already losing the war. You can't just sue the press and ignore the trolls. You can't drag the Daily Mail to court and let YouTube go feral. This is a full system rot, and if you don't name it, you are part of it. That's why Wilson isn't Team Harry. He's not waving a Sussex flag, he's Team Humanity, Team Dignity. He's standing for a family's right to live without being dissected for clicks, a father's right to protect his children from the exact horror that took his mother, a woman's right to be more than a media punching bag, a child's right to exist without the press demanding a birth certificate and a DNA test like it's the Jeremy Kyle Show Royal Edition. So no, this isn't just another take. This is honestly a wake-up call. And to the tabloids, let me say this clearly: the lies won't protect you. The lawsuits are coming, the receipts are being filed, the world is watching, and you can, hide behind headlines and anonymous sources all you want. But guess what? You're not bulletproof. You're just loud. Because the moment people actually hear what Tim Wilson is saying, the whole crooked house starts to wobble. Let's be honest. They'd rather you scroll past, shut him out, write him off as just another academic on YouTube. Because once you actually listen, once you really hear what he's saying, the house of cards starts to shake. Because this man, calm, razor-sharp, unapologetically clear, is doing something the British media refuses to do. He's speaking the truth, not the tabloid-fueled drama, not the clickbait fantasies, the truth, and he's doing it without flinching. Let's stop pretending. This is not just some guy ranting for clicks. This is a professor with receipts, context, and, oh yes, the moral clarity that most commentators left in the dust ages ago. He's not here to make friends. He's here to slice through the noise. And when it comes to Prince Harry, Wilson says what nobody else has the courage to say on national TV. Harry is right. Right to fight. Right to sue. Right to name the snakes in the garden. Right to defend his wife. Right to protect his children. Right to burn the toxic media circus to the ground. Because silence is not neutral. It's cowardice in a costume. So to the British tabloids, keep crying. The Sussexes will keep thriving. To the trolls, keep spinning. The truth keeps winning. And to you, fabulous viewer, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay sassy. Because we're not backing down. Not today, not ever.